Hi you guys, I'm Rosemary and welcome back to Rosemary TV. Today's video will be on Mary Liddell Thomas, otherwise known as my grandmother. To give you a little background on who she is the first black woman to register to vote in Humpreys County, Mississippi. Miss Thomas was born on June 8, 1924, and throughout her lifetime she was a wife, a mother, and a store owner. Today we have her, Miss Mary Liddell Thomas, 92 years old, telling her story. Stay tuned.
My dad was named Anderson Liddell. My mother was named Issa Liddell. They were married one time. They had 6 children, 4 girls and 2 boys. That was the Liddell family. All was married after each other. After that I got married. Everybody got married. And I married a man much older than me. But I would tell them all that I didn't want nobody to act foolish. If I was talking to somebody, don't come up and ask me who did you want or nothing like that. I had to just mold myself into that, what I thought was to make me a nice girl with people and the men and me. And I married to a man named Mary Thomas. So therefore I got married and I came to be Mary Liddell Thomas.
Tell me what it was like being married to Jerry Thomas.
He couldn't write his name. He didn't know his name. So I taught him how to write his name. And he became a car buyer. He went around through the country and bought people cows that needed money and didn't have the money right then, that they had learned to stop going to the white man to borrow money. So they used what they had. After they found out the black man that bought cows, they bought them cows. Then after that, he set up a grocery store and he killed cows as they needed to sell in that store. After I had 3 boys and 1 girl, my husband died. Then it left me to run the store, and the 3 children that was able enough to understand to help me run the store. Every morning, every child had a task. The oldest boy would clean up the market back on the shelves. The baby boy would pick up the trash off the yard. And that's the way we made it without hiring somebody right then. So before then, my husband, before he died, I did hire a cook. After she worked a while, she quit work. Then it was left to me and my kids to work at the store. Then I gave more attention to the civil rights workers. I went to work with them.
How did you get involved with the civil rights workers?
The way I got involved with them, but before my husband died, I had got started to getting interested in what the civil rights workers was trying to get across to the black people. but I just hadn't all the way put my mind on it. But after the children kept on at me and trying to sense me into it, I did understand what it meant. Then I woke up one morning, my children all had breakfast and they were gone to school. And I looked up. I didn't hear anybody come in the store, but I had a little place that I ran a cafe myself, that I would sell sandwiches to people, to children, and food to take to the field. After that, I looked up one morning and it was 3 young men and one girl was standing in the middle of the floor. And I looked up and I didn't hear them call or nothing, in the store. So I asked them what could I do for them, and they said, well, we bought a little package here from a store. We bought some food, and we wondered if you would mind us sitting down and eating this little food. And I said, oh no, you're welcome to. So they sat down and ate. Then they went about telling me about their purpose of being there. So after that, then I started going to the meetings. I would be there every night. The lawyers and the sheriffs all came, the mayor and everybody came to me and asked why did I want the men to come in there messing with them, and what would I do to stop them? I said, well, I can't stop them. I said, because I bought license to sell these people what they want, what I have. And I couldn't stop them. You'll have to stop them yourself, not me. So they let me alone then about making the civil rights people stop. They went on and they tried to burn my house down. So this was on a Saturday night. I had a dream. And in this dream, I was told what I was to do and what was going to happen to me. When they asked me that question, I couldn't tell them what people I saw doing this. But I knew it was one man, and he had on shoes, and he had some white paper in his hand. At first thing I did was, in this dream, somebody had me, a voice just like you talking to me, to raise the shade, the curtain to my window. And my window was right this side, and my bed was here. And nobody was in the bed with me, but the boys was in the room by themselves. And this one girl was a baby. And just as I said, just as they told me to raise the window, I just turned over and raised the window about 4 inches tall. And I saw a black man come in. The houses were close together. There's a cafe here and my cafe was here. And this man was walking down between those two buildings. And when I saw him, I just raised the window and I said, oh, what a beautiful night. I said, and everything is so still, I can hear nothing. And when I said that, the man walked on down and he examined my store. And it was 10 at the bottom of my store. He paused a minute, he said, well, if I take that 10 off, I said, somebody will hear me. So he walked on down, and on this side of the houses was a brick siding. It was easily burned. So he looked around, he looked up, and he didn't hear nothing. The man struck a match, and it looked like it was my white market paper. And he struck it under his feet and stuck it to the paper, and it started burning. He pulled a piece of the siding. He put a piece of it on the paper that it would burn. I said it in a low, loving voice as I could. I don't know where the voice came from, and I never said that voice. I heard that voice before. So I said, don't do that. Don't do that. Said, don't do that. The man then looked around. He didn't see nobody, but he pulled the brick siding from under the house and stumped it on the ground. And in the process, he stumped the paper all out too. And he ran. Whereas, if he hadn't done that, our house would have burned like paper and maybe burned up all my children. So I said, well, what do I do now? I said, I know what I'm going to get up in the morning and go out the back door and see, did this really happen? And really, it had happened. The paper was there, and the sheetrock they had lit there to easily burn. That next morning, I guess by 9 o'clock, here come the police. He said, Mary, said, did you see this man come to your house? I said, yes, I saw somebody, but who it was, I don't know. Was he black or was he white? I said, well, I couldn't tell what color he was. All I did was ask him not to do it, not to burn my house down. I said, he didn't do it, and I'm not gonna try to tell you that I knew who did it. Every time a little thing come up, they would come to me with the problem. And finally the sheriff was named Mr. Billy Nixon. So he said, well, don't know, y'all need to worry about it. I don't care what it is. Said, if you ask Mary, she ain't gonna tell you. And I said, no, I wasn't gonna tell her. Cause everybody was against me, was for me in a way, because they didn't let the police do nothing to me. Well, then after we got started with the meeting, they beat up people that went to the meeting to stop them from coming. But that didn't stop us. So round to voting time, and we all talked about voting and how we could get it known how many people that would vote if they had a chance. We decided to get just a pasteboard box and glue it up, and with one hole in it, big enough to put a letter in it, down in there. And that was our voting box. Some would come there and buy breakfast every morning. While they were there, they didn't have a chance to fill out nothing, but they had a chance to write their name. So we set that box in the middle of the floor, and every morning they come in, they would slip that piece of paper in that box. How smart the Negro could be, and that was taking a chance on their life. After that, the civil rights lawyer, which was a white man, came and got my ballot. It wasn't but 2 people voted that day. That was me and another lady that lived right opposite of me. I filled out my ballot, and this lady pretended that she was filling out one. She didn't put her name, she didn't write nothing on it. So they took that 2 on down, and the civil rights lawyer won the case. And he said, well, y'all can go to vote, but we got to go have court down to Jackson, Mississippi. And the next 2 weeks, I had to come to Jackson to court. I had to testify. I had to memorize, explain what I thought the 12th Amendment meant. So I went on to the meeting. Many people helped me to get ready. I mean, from shoes to stockings to all I needed, even a hat that I had. Somebody sent me that hat to wear. I didn't know nothing about Jackson. I didn't know nothing where the courthouse was, where they had the meeting, they had the laws that made the laws. Nothing. I didn't know nothing. So this black man took me from Belzona to Jackson. He carried me to the courthouse, and he said, well, you be all right here. So, with nobody in the big room but me. So this man was named T.V. Johnson. He was the funeral director. And the civil rights workers couldn't get there until about 1 o'clock. So they was gonna have it at 1. So after a while, it was a white boy called Bill Deeks. He came and he carried me over what he wanted me to say. When I got up to testify, I didn't see nobody from my county. All the county people were there, the police, the mayor, and everybody was there. So when they called me up, I went up and he asked me my name, and I told him, and he asked me where I live, and I told him. So he said, well, why are you here today? I said, well, I'm here to testify, to answer questions about me registering to vote. He said, what do you want to register to vote for? I said, well, when my children finish 12th grade and get ready to get a job, they always was told we wasn't qualified. And so that went on with that. The next thing I knew, this same white man that came from Jackson came back and told me, now you all can register to vote. Say you won it, Mary. Say you won it. You won it. So, and I thanked him. But at first, when I looked up and I saw everybody that was holding the office in Belzona, I knew they were there and looking dead at me. And so I walked halfway down that step, halfway out, and saw them. And one man said, I ain't gonna sit. They sit right behind my table, my bench, where I was sitting. So I just kept right straight on by them. And I got center behind them. And everybody in the courtroom laughed. And I did too. Yes, sir. And I did too. First lady that registered to vote in Humpreys County. So we went on and we did register. The white people got real mad. They got mad. But we didn't care. The civil rights workers went right with everybody that went to vote. Then still, some people couldn't go. But they had the idea that how many people would vote if they had the opportunity. They had these blanks here with people named that wanted to vote and couldn't vote. Then they gave us the opportunity to vote. They gave me, the first person, to go vote, that my registration ballot passed among all those that wanted to register to vote. And people, teachers, had education. They couldn't register to vote. Nobody. If they were black, they couldn't vote. March on Washington, we had a meeting with a southern congregation that we had people from every county. We was a lot of people there at this meeting. And we didn't have nothing fitting to go in. Had an old station wagon. It did have the windows in there. Had pretty good tires on it. But the truck would not back up. So we went straight all the way. We didn't back up nowhere. We went from Belzona, from my little place up there on Hayden Street. Me and another girl went. And 2 civil rights workers was with us. We pulled up on the yard. It was a place you could go in, and we drove around and we couldn't find no parking place. So we saw one vacant park place. This place was a senator's parking place. So we had to turn around and go back. So we had to back up. So they put me under the steering wheel to back up. Well, I knew how to do it. And they went to push. The policeman saw us, and before he could say anything, he fell out laughing. He said, "You tell me y'all done come from way from Humpreys County, Mississippi, and couldn't back up." And we all laughed. He didn't charge us nothing. He didn't charge us. He didn't say nothing about the violating or nothing. We just knew we had to get out there. We backed up anyway and went out. So I had a first cousin that lived in Washington, D.C. And he invited us all to stay at his house. So he fixed a place for us to stay, all of us. Because he worked at night. He said he wouldn't be there, but his wife would be there. She was a teacher. We went to that meeting. Family, Lou Hammond was there. And just a lot of people that I couldn't name, that I called that name that day that I could not name today. So I don't know why my mind left me. I can think sometimes to say what I want to say, but others I can't. So anyway, at my age, I guess that is possible. So what else you want to know?
Well, you did really good. You talked for like 40 minutes straight, Grandma. You did good. You did good.
I hope you mean it.
I do. That was good. I couldn't talk for 40 minutes straight. That was good. You remembered a lot. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So I'm glad then I helped you some.
Yes.
I'm gonna get up here and wash these dishes, and I got to clean my oven out some kind of way.
Okay. Alright, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you felt that power coming from her words. While recording this video, she did that by herself, no paper in front of her, 92 years old. And to young Black people watching this video, I hope you realize that it's women like Miss Thomas who paved the way to where we are today. Thanks for watching, you guys. This will be one of the most important videos I've made thus far. Have a happy new year.